everyone, this is CY. It has been quite a while, right, since I made my last video, and I've been back from Europe for about a month, and for the past 3 weeks or so I've been busy teaching in the polytechnic. As you know, I'm a lecturer in the polytechnic in Singapore, and it has been a very busy 3 weeks because I've been taking up new modules, and some of these modules I've never taught before, I've never taught before. So it is something that's really interesting. And coming back from Europe, especially Italy, I have a lot of experience to share, and maybe I will share with everyone in the coming video. But for today, because my stock of the SSP Lab Sweet Silver has just arrived, and therefore I think I will be installing it on my another DF64. I chose the red color because I like the vibrant color in my shop. So you can see here that right now I have this red color grinder here. So you can see my daily driver is the yellow color one. I call it Roastery, right? And this one, I don't know what should I call it, maybe the red dot, because we're in Singapore. So I'm going to open up this one, and then I'm going to install the Lab Sweeper. So let's just do it. I'm not going to edit the video, so if you don't want to see certain part of this video, right, please just skip it and go to the sections that you want, right? I think because as I'm aging, so I will need my long-sightedness spectacles. So you'll see me wearing this now, right? Because my vision is not as good as before. So whenever I do things nearby, I need to wear these spectacles so that I can actually look at things I actually service or repair. So right now, let's take this grinder apart, and then not take this grinder apart. Sorry. Let's take out the original Itamil and then install the Lab Sweeper, right? And by the way, this is actually from SSP, right? This is the cast burr from SSP, right? So okay, let me adjust the camera, give you a better view, right? So this is actually the SSP, right? Cast burrs, we call it the cast version, which is silver color, right? Let me open this and show you. Right, you'll see some of the coffee powder there because I've actually tested it in one of my other grinders. So this is the design of the silver cast burr, right? Pretty unique design. I wonder how SSP come out with this design. Probably by trial and error with many different prototyping, and then the one that gives them the best in terms of grind setting, and they'll probably pick this design, right? So right now I'm going to open up this grinder and then install the burr, right? So before that, of course, you can see that currently this burr has the SSP high uniformity installed. So basically after the installation, I'm going to do a test of an espresso shot. Of course, this burr has not really been seasoned yet, so it will take a while for this to be seasoned. But anyway, both my high uniformity and the Lab Sweeper are not really fully seasoned, so I'll just use it along the way to give try to get a tasting profile of the espresso. If I can, I'll do a blind test. That means I will probably label under my cup which one is for which one. Then I'll mix it up and I'll try to drink it to see whether I can actually tell whether it's actually from the cast burr or is it from the high uniformity, right? In the future, I'll probably be getting asking some of my DF64 customers or my friend to join me, and those who own the DF64, especially the multi-purpose and the Itamil, I'll be asking them to join me so that we can do 4 grinders comparison, 4 different type of burr sets, and then we see that will be really interesting, right? So that will be the future when I contact my friends there, right, who owns DF64 in Singapore. Right, okay, so okay, let's do it. Okay, so I will just do some housekeeping to clean up the burr before I use. And by the way, if you find that this is boring, please skip this section. And by the way, there are two directions when you want to set up the burr, right? One is called the rotary, right? One is called the fixed. So the fixed one will be on top, and the rotary one is the one that spin, right? So let's open this grinder up. Right, be careful, right? When there was once when I opened up this grinder for my customer, I accidentally dropped this on the floor and it dented this we call it the grind adjustment ring, and the grind adjustment ring, once it's dented, right, it can no longer be fitted back because the track has been dented, and hence therefore it can no longer be screwed. Right, so be careful with this if you are doing this by yourself. Okay, let's remove this aside. Camera so they can see. Right, I'm trying to try with a different camera angle, right, to see whether it gives you a better view. Right, do feedback to me if, let's say, the view is not ideal for you. Right, let me know which camera angle is works better for you. Right, and also I'm not using the mic at this moment because I've left my mic charging. So my Bluetooth wireless mic is currently charging. Pardon me if, let's say, the reception of the sound is not the best, right? Right, so that is the first one, the Itamil. And I'll be fixing on the fixed one, so the fixed one should go on top. Usually I will not screw in tight first. I will just allow the screw to sit in, and then I'll feel around so that, you know, all the center of the burr actually align with the center of the burr carrier. Then I will actually screw it down tight. And I will also not be doing any alignment for this new grinder with the sweet burr yet. I'll probably do an alignment video in the future, right? Probably this is a refresher course for those of you that have been watching my channel since I do content on DF64. Right, so this is done, and of course let's just remove the sleeve and push all the way to the bottom, right? So this is flush, right? I've also done a series of the DF64 101, right? If you are new to the DF64, you can actually check out the video which I have released earlier on, whereby I teach you something to do before, you know, first time when you get a grinder. These are the things that you want to do. And I'll also be switching out the declumper for this grinder because I really don't like the original silicone declumper, right? This will go to the bin, right? Okay, in order for you to remove the burr that sits on the motor, right, you need a 14mm wrench, right, so that you can hold to you can have a better grip of the screw as well as so that you will not strip the screw when you try to unscrew the screw that is actually locking the rotary burr, right? Yep. some of my customers actually strip the screws and then end up probably to purchase new one. And then I'm not too sure whether it's easy to find, right? The screw that's like this probably will not be difficult if you have a hardware store nearby. There's many variations of the screws, right? But something like this, I probably can find it in Singapore too. But then just be careful, right? So gently just allow the screw to sit in. Don't screw tight yet. Alright, so again use a wrench to hold on to the center nut, and then you tighten it down. Okay, so you can see the burr has, oh, what am I doing, man? I actually screwed back the pita mill. My goodness. Oops. And this is actually what actually happened when you do DIY things, right? My videos are never about beautiful cameras or beautiful lightings or beautiful backdrop. It's just me trying to show you what I usually do, right? Just like normal people, right? In the future, I'll be doing some reno to my current space here, right? I'll be using racks instead of these IKEA tables, so that I'll have more storage space. Right? Because I have a lot more machines coming in, so I will need more space. Let's first watch this. Right, so this is a Roastery. So let's put it inside. Alright. Okay, sorry if this is taking too long for you. Right, you can skip this if you want to. And how is everyone? The experience going to Europe is really good, especially visiting the factories, right? I've visited quite a few factories which supply espresso machine to us, especially factories in Spain, which the one we went to, Espresso, right? It was really interesting, and I see how the machines are assembled and how they actually test the machine day out to see how many times the button can be pressed before you break down, or even if you ever break down, right? And so, as we also visited the factory of the VBM and quick mill, and as well as IMS, so we have actually learned quite a lot of things from them. Okay, so basically, right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over, open up the center portion so that I can install the declumper and remove the silicone. Right, so this is what I'm going to do. Let's flip this over. There are two screws at the bottom. Right, so just unscrew. It should be easy, quite easy to come out. I think I may have already installed this I have already installed the declumper, so there's no need for me to do this. Right, so sorry about it. I just realized that I installed this declumper a few days ago. Right, actually the declumper looks something like this. This is my design, right? So this is actually the PT film, right? Which I asked my friend Robert to cut for me using his cutter. So this is very flexible, right? It's not rigid. So when you bellow, right, this will allow the coffee ground to come out easily. Many of my customers have tested this and it works wonderful. So if you want to test it out, or if you want to share with your friend, or if you have a YouTube channel and you want to test this, drop an email to me, right? I will send one of these to you so that you can actually test it by yourself, and just give me your honest feedback, right? How this works for you. Okay, so let's put this on 10-degree kickstand, right? think the base is slightly larger as compared to last time, because my original yellow color DF64 can sit into the base nicely, and somehow, yeah, I think there's probably some changes in the size. I just realized. You can see that my base no longer can sit in nicely, and probably that's the reason why some of the customers who purchase the base from me are saying that it is quite hard to fit in. Okay, now I know why, because the base is slightly larger than before. Right, okay, so I have to really push in so that it will be very nice fitted. Okay, so everything goes in already, so let's unscrew this back. Bear in mind that my burrs are not aligned yet. I'm just going to use it like that. Right, no force needed. Right, just have to push down the collar and just gently spin the grind adjustment ring, and it should be able to lock in. Okay, let me get a grind indicator so that I can find the 0 point. The 0 point is also not usually the SSP high uniformity, the 0 point will be at the 3 o'clock. This apparently is around the 4 o'clock position. Okay, let's use the white color. Okay, you can hear the two burrs touching each other. Unwind slightly so that I don't hear the rubbing sound. So this will be my 0. Okay, the grind indicator that I designed has a very tight fitting. It will get loosened over time. And one of the benefits of using my declumper is that you don't really need to clean your burr anymore, right? So the maintenance will be a lot easier. Okay, so is that in? Okay, that's great, that's a 0 point. Okay, so let me get an anti-popcorn. Right, these are the 3D printed version. Right, so I'll just insert into the bellow. I can see that this is totally brand new. Right. Eventually I may have 3 of these open up because I want one for dedicated for filtered coffee also. Nicely, the cover. Right, currently I do not have the crinkles cover yet for this one. Let's lock this back as well. Same thing. Gently spin. We should lock in nicely without any. Okay, it's locking already. Spin. Just to make sure that it's not cross-threaded. Right, it should be able to spin really easily. Right. Yeah, the thread is good. I probably just need to clean the side of any coffee ground. Yep, you'll hear the tack sound, means that the collar has sit nicely, and you should be able to turn without much force, right? And you should be able to turn all the way until it can no longer be turned. Yep, so this is where the 0 point is. Okay, let's find the 0 point. Yep, I can hear the two burrs touching. Okay, so again, install the grind indicator. Yep, and we are good to go. Where's my, okay, here, okay. Right, so now I have two DF64 side by side, and let's get all this away, and we're going to do some testing. Okay, I'm going to use my VBM machine, but before that I'm just going to grind the coffee. I'm probably going to run 2 shots, and I'm going to pull 2 shots quickly and try to get the grind size dialed in. Right, for my DF64 using high uniformity, which is the one in yellow, right, normally I will be grinding at about 12 to 13 on the high uniformity, but for the, well, let's do the same for the sweet burr. So let's do at 12 as well. Right, and let's grind 18 grams of coffee and see how it goes, right? And I'll be using the beans from the Hub Coffee Lab, right? Right, this is from my teacher, and Dan, which taught me about all about barista in Italy, where I attended the barista school. Oh, I may not have enough, but don't worry, I have another can. Okay, let's see how many grams is this. I hope I can bring their beans to Singapore. Okay, that's not enough. Right, so I tell you what, let's use my own bean then, because there's not enough for this. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's use my own roaster beans from Yunnan. This is a single origin. Right. Natural sun-dried. The tasting note should be tropical fruit, mango, red wine, sweet and bright. So let's see this. Okay, 18.1 gram. Let's see how it goes. Okay, 18 gram exactly. Relax measure 18 grams as well for the sweet burr, which is the one in red. Okay, 18.1, I think that should be quite good. Bear in mind that this is the first time that the burr has been used in this, so it will not be zero retention definitely for the first try. Right, so let me set the camera to track my face. Right. Okay. So we move up. And I'll be using the VBM. Okay. Okay, never mind. Okay. Right, so you can see that's my VBM machine there. When I run the shot, I'll bring the camera closer so they can have a better view. Right, so let me just warm up my pour filter. It has been seated there for quite some time, so it should be pretty warm. see how the grinding is. Okay, I forgot to connect power. Okay, so let's start the grinder for the high uniformity, and maybe I'll bring you closer to hear the sound. Okay, so right now we're going to test the grinder using 18 grams. I'm going to use a grind setting at 15 first to see how the shot is pulled, and then I'm going to probably label at the bottom of my cup with HU and SW, right? So SW stands for sweet and HU stands for high uniformity. Then I'm going to do a blind test to see whether I can actually tell which one is from which one. And then it's going to be interesting, right? So first of all, let me use the coffee bean which I have roasted, right? This is the bean we're going to use today, right? It's actually the natural sun-dried from Yunnan, and this is roasted on the 23rd of April, which is just nice for espresso, right? We're going to just measure 18 grams. Right, sorry about the mess in my office. Yeah, I'll be doing some tidy up later on. Okay, that's my 3D printers has finished printing all the declumper holder. Okay, that's the difference between a cheaper scale and those scale from Akaya and Felicita. You can see that they are not as sensitive as compared to the rest. So this will be 18.1 gram. So let me put it into the sweet burr. Okay, let's measure another 18 grams. Using the same beans. Okay, 18 gram exactly. Oh, 18.4. See, that's the problem with this type of scale. It is less responsive, so it takes a longer time to respond to the change in mass. Right, so this is about, okay, let me take out another bean. Right, so this should give me about 18. Let me see. Okay, I just want to be precise. Right, so it's 17.9. Right, that's S. Okay, so let's throw it into the high uniformity. Okay, what's going to happen is I'm going to tear this empty one so that I can also test the retention. Right, first let's hear the sound from the high uniformity. Okay, this is with installation of the new declumper. Don't really need to bellow because you can see there's nothing much coming out. Okay, now let's hear the one that's coming out from the sweet burr. Let me bring the camera closer so that I give you a better look. Okay, listen to the sound. It seems that the sweet burr is
it's discharging the coffee ground faster and with much more force as compared to the high uniformity. You can see there are actually a lot of coffee ground that's coming out, and it gets really messy. So I'm not too sure whether this will be consistently the same in the future. But let me just test the coffee, see what's the retention. Right, 18 gram. Right, so okay, this is about 17.8 gram. Okay, this scale, the battery is running low, so let me change to another one. Okay, let's change to one for the Licita. Right, let me show you. Okay, I spilled a little bit of coffee, so it's about 17.9. So the retention in the grinder is about 0.1 gram, which is pretty good, right, for a new grinder that has not really been dialed in. Right, so this is actually from the Sweet Burr. Right, so let's try the one with high uniformity. Right, 17.8. Right, equally there's about 0.1 gram of retention. I think it's probably because I've cleaned out the grinder, so it needs a little bit of filling into all the spaces is between the screws and all those tiny little holes that need to fill out with coffee powder. And once I run a few more shots, I think the retention should be better than this one. But considering this is only about 0.2 gram, which is pretty good. Right, so let's move on to the part preparation, and then we're gonna try to pull 2 shots. Okay, so the first shot will be from the Sweet Burr. Okay, let me do a shot first so that I can try to memorize the taste profile of the Sweet Burr. Then I'll probably do a blind one to see whether I can actually. Okay, let me just tell you what. Let's just don't do the blind shot now, because I think I need to get familiar with the Sweet Burr, right? I'll probably do in the future when my friends join me with other grinders. Right, that will make it more challenging and more interesting. So this is actually the Sweet Burr. So this is prepared. I will not be using part screen. So okay, now the high uniformity. This is at a grind setting of 15, right? Okay, so I'm gonna pull 2 shots continuously. Let's start with the Sweet Burr and then the high uniformity. Right, this is actually from the Sweet Burr. I'm using VBM Domobar Super because it will give me consistent shots, because the pressure I have really set it so that it always give me the same pressure. Okay, slightly too high for this. Let's just use a crew cup. Right. Okay. Okay, the grind setting of 15, right? It may still be a little bit too fine, but let's see how it goes. Okay, I think I'll go without the scale. Right, so this is actually from the sweeper. So now let's try the one with high uniformity. So you can see at the grind setting of 15, I'm able to pull a much higher volume as compared to the one on the sweeper. Right, so apparently I think the sweeper produces significantly more finer, right, as compared to the high uniformity. Right, so this is actually from the very decent shot, right? Maybe a little bit too much, so this could be a little bit on the coarser side for the high uniformity. But at the grind setting of 15, you can see this is the 15 on the high uniformity, this is the 15 on the sweeper. So, but nonetheless, we're going to taste the shot and see tasting profile. I know this is not a very fair test, I'll probably have to dial in a little bit more. But let's just try the espresso and see how it goes, right? Right, let's taste it. Right, so you can see the one with a smaller volume is the one from the sweeper. Wow. Oh, very intense. Even though the volume is little, but it is still a really nice shot. Okay, let me try the from high uniformity. Oh, okay. This is actually, this tastes almost like what I get from filtered coffee, but 10 times stronger. Yeah, I think the volume is a bit too much, so I think the extraction is probably not correct. So this tastes like a little bit like a filter coffee, but a stronger filter coffee. But it's really nice, intense. It gives you all the impact of what I'm looking for in the tasting of the Win One red wine natural processed coffee. Right, so yeah, it's a very pleasant drink. Wow, it's really sweet and there's no bitterness at all. Wow, this is really good. Okay, so the high uniformity produces a very clean shot, right? So I may actually try to dial in on the sweeper again. Let's pull another shot on the sweeper and see whether the taste on this as compared to this, right? So let's do it quickly. Right, so let's again measure 18 grams. And at the grind setting of 15 is a little too fine, so I'll probably go to about 17. So if you have a question whether the sweeper is able to do espresso, my answer to that is yes, it's definitely capable of doing espresso. It can definitely grind fine enough. So I just have to clean this. I just want to show you the okay, so let's do another 18 grams. Okay, 18 gram exactly. You hear the sound again. Coffee is definitely coming out faster, and the static issue is definitely more severe than the as compared to on the high uniformity. Right, you can see that my arms, they are static, right? Right, so let's prepare the puck. Right, so sorry for this mess. Okay, let's do another shot. Okay, I also want to bring you closer to the profile setting that I have set on the VBM. So I will show you my profile later on. Okay, so let's look at the extraction shortly, right? But I will show you the profile. Okay, I can't really show you the profile and the extraction at the same time. So this is how the profiling machine looks like. I set the pressure according to what I want. Okay, it runs a little bit fast. So this is the profile. Okay, so let's taste the coffee. Right, so this is the one that's extracted just now. Of course, the previous shot, it has been cooled down a little bit, but let's test this from the Sweet Burr. Oh, it's totally different. This has a lot more body and complexity as compared to the one from the high uniformity. Yeah, this tastes really clean, just like what I have on the filtered coffee, but stronger. This one from the Sweet Burr, yeah, it has a lot more body, definitely. Oh, and the sweetness level is higher, right? And of course, this is actually a natural processed coffee, so naturally it will be sweeter. And there's zero acidity, only sweetness in this coffee. Wow, this is really enjoyable, right? So I will be doing more tests, and stay tuned for a comparison, more comparison between the high uniformity as well as the Sweet Burr from SSP. So I will definitely be doing more tests on these two burrs, and to give you more feedback before you make your purchase, and to see whether it's worth actually getting it. And so far I really like the Sweet Burr because it gives me other than a clean cup, right, it gives me a more complexity and body. And overall the sweetness is slightly higher as compared to the SSP high uniformity, right? So but this is not conclusive, so let me do more tests so that I give you a better feedback. And I will also be doing a blind test definitely in my next video. I'll do probably if I can get my friend to join me with Itamil and MP,
MP burr sets, and then we can do 4 grinders together to do a test and see whether I can tell which espresso drinks is grinded by which grinders. And I'll be using the VBM Domobar Super because it's the machine that I can rely on to repeat the pressure at the exact pressure that I want, right? So this pressure I set is I set as a ramp up slowly, so 2 bar first for maybe 5 seconds, then you ramp up to 6 bar for another 5 seconds, 9 bar, drop to 6 bar, drop to 2 bar, right? So this is the one that I have, the setting of the extraction, right? So I've been liking this machine a lot, and right, so if you're interested to come down for a demonstration on the Super, right, just drop me a message. I'll link my email address on top. You can actually send me an email if you're interested, if you're in Singapore. And if you're interested in getting espresso machines, I can always demo the machine to you before you decide which espresso machine you want to get. And I'll also be doing a series of video on more in-depth review on the machines that I have. I'll probably use a machine for maybe 1 to 2 weeks every day to pull shots on it and to make base drink espressos, and I'll give you my take on whether this is actually good machine for maybe a beginner, or maybe if you are more advanced user, or maybe you are the prosumers, right, which you are really good at pulling shots already. So is that machine good for you as an upgrade, or is it a downgrade if you get the machines? Or if you're the first time looking for espresso machine, is this machine the right machine for you? So this is something that I have in the pipeline in the very near future, so that I just want to share my experiences with everyone, right? So this is CY once again. Thank you for joining my channel today, right? If you haven't hit the subscribe button, remember to hit the subscribe button, and sorry for the recent lack of videos, right? I will definitely be doing more, right? If I can. So stay tuned, and I'll see you around.